Good morning, good afternoon, and good day to everybody, and welcome back to our Bible study. Today is April 6th, 2026, and today we are in Genesis chapter 26. I didn't realize that lined up that well. Anyway, so today is about Isaac deceiving Abimelech, which is the king, which you guys are going to notice something very interesting about the deceit that he has for the king as we get into this. Let's just say him and Abraham make the same exact mistake, and it's so funny because people talk about all the time nowadays how you will follow the mistakes of your parents, right? And just to see it in a biblical context is insane. And breaking those generational curses, as we talk about in today's society, is hilariously similar to the story I'm about to read. Okay, so let's get into this. Genesis chapter 26, verse 1. And there was a famine in the land besides the first famine that was in the days of Abraham. And Isaac went unto Abimelech, king of the Philistines, unto Gerar. And the Lord appeared unto him and said, Go not down into Egypt, dwell in the land that I shall tell of thee. Sojourn in the land. Sojourn means to live in the land, to be there and to till it and to farm and to work, live there. Sojourn in this land, and I will be with thee, and will bless thee. For unto thee and unto thy seed I will give all these countries, and I will perform the oath which I swear unto Abraham thy father. And if you guys remember that oath, he's saying that Abraham was praying for a child, right? And God says, I'm not just going to give you a child. I'm going to make your seed be nations, be multiple nations. Your seed will be blessed to be multiple nations, okay? And then the next section of this chapter goes on to say, in verse 4 it starts, And I will make thy seed to multiply as stars of heaven, and will give unto thy seed all these countries. And in thy seed shall all the nations of the earth be blessed, because that Abraham obeyed my voice, and kept my charge, and my commandments, my statutes, and my laws. And Isaac dwelt in Gerar. Guys, it's so refreshing to know that. Let's say that I become a father, God willing. We pray for a child all the time, but God willing, I become a father, right? As long as I obey the Lord, and the Lord gives me a blessing of generational blessings, my children will inherit those blessings. Isn't that so awesome to think about? Like, it's not just for you, it's for your kids too. So all these people that are like, well, like all these people that are out there that I used to be this way. You don't really care too much for yourself. You care about other people more. Well, care about your future children more than you care about yourself. And that might be a message to somebody that needs to hear that. And y'all might think I'm crazy. Whichever park you land in, good for you. Anyway, this is the crazy thing. Here is where Isaac follows in the same mistakes as his father. And it's almost funny because let me just get into this. Verse 7. And the men of the place asked him of his wife, and he said, She is my sister. For he feared to say, She is my wife, lest, said he, the men of this place should kill me for Rebekah, because she was fair to look upon. Abraham did the same thing with his wife. When God promised him protection, promised him that he would have children and bless his seed, promised him all these things, Abraham didn't listen. Abraham come walking into, I believe, Egypt, just like Isaac here. And he goes, Man, all these people looking at my wife a lot. You know what? Tell them you're my sister. That way they don't kill me. You're scared of people. You need to be scared of the Lord. But it's crazy. Watch how even in his mistake, the Lord blesses him. Okay? Just watch. Same thing with Abraham. Abraham made a mistake after God himself spoke to him. Like, a lot of us don't hear God's voice like actually audibly. These guys heard his voice audibly. They spoke with the Lord, okay? And still made a mistake. So who do you think you are that you're going to be perfect? You're not going to be perfect. Only one perfect person ever walked this planet. His name was Jesus Christ, and they put him on a cross. All right, anyway. Verse 8, And it came to pass, when he had been there a long time, that Abimelech, king of the Philistines, looked out a window, and saw, and behold, Isaac was sporting with Rebekah, his wife. We can imagine what the word sporting means. And Abimelech called Isaac and said, Behold, of a surety she is thy wife. And how saidst thou, She is my sister? And Isaac said unto him, Because I said, Lest I die for her? Yes, that's your job. You're her husband. Anyway, and Abimelech said, what is this thou hast done to us? One of the people might lightly have leaned with thy wife, and thou shouldest have brought guiltiness upon us. And Abimelech charged all his people, saying, he that touches this man or his wife shall surely be put to death. Isn't that crazy? I'm going to save the next verse for just a minute. Isn't it crazy? Abraham made the same mistake. And that king of that time did the same thing. He told all his servants, do not touch this man's wife. The Lord knows this man. If you touch his wife, I'm going to take you out. And Isaac was worried that people would try to kill him to steal his wife. The Lord was protected. The Lord said, don't nobody touch him, and delivered that message through the king both times. It's almost like Abraham should have told Isaac of this story, and Isaac would have been like, I'm still going to do that. Anyway, watch what happens in the next verse. Okay, even though Isaac lied, which is one of the big sins of the Ten Commandments, right? Even though he lied, the Lord did not waver. The Lord literally, in the next verse, this is what happens. Then Isaac sowed in the land. So he planted and seeds and stuff. He sowed in the land and received in the same year 100-fold. And the Lord blessed him. So immediately after his mistake, immediately, the Lord is really great with this immediately word. Immediately after he made a mistake in not trusting the Lord said, blessing. Immediately, the same year. Isn't that crazy? And the man waxed great and went forward and grew until he became very great. For he had possession of flocks and possession of herds and great store of servants. And the Philistines envied him for all the wells which his father's servants had digged in the days of Abraham, his father. The Philistines, I forget how people pronounce it correctly. Let me know in the comments, please. Had stopped them and filled them with earth. So Abraham dug all of these wells for them to get water out of and stuff. And the Philistines, whoever they are, came through and said, nah, fill them things back up with dirt. Verse 16. And Abimelech said unto Isaac, go from us, for thou art much mightier than we. Isn't that crazy? This is another lesson for y'all. The moment Isaac gained more possession than the king, the moment that Isaac had power over the king tells him, flee from us, for you are far greater than we. And that's because he followed God. Made mistakes along the way and still followed God. Sorry about that, guys. Had to take a work call. Anyway, we're back. But yeah, isn't that crazy? The moment Isaac gained more power than the king, they told him to flee. Anyway. And Isaac departed thence and pitched his tent in the valley of Gerar and dwelt there. And Isaac digged again the wells of water. And they had digged in the days of Abraham his father. For the Philistines had stopped them after the death of Abraham. And he called their names the names by which his father had called them. And Isaac's servants digged in the valley and found there a well of spring water. And the herdmen of Gerar did strive with Isaac's herdmen, saying, the water is ours. And he called the name of the well Esek, because they strove with him again. And they digged another well, and strove for that also. And he called the name of it Sitnah. And he removed from thence and digged another well. And for that strove not. And for that they strove not. And he called the name of it Rehoboth. And he said, for now the Lord hath made room for us, and we shall be fruitful in the land. And he went up from thence to Beersheba. And the Lord appeared unto him that same night, and said, I am the God of Abraham thy father. Fear not, for I am with thee, and will bless thee, and multiply thy seed for my servants Abraham's sake. And he builded an altar there, and called upon the name of the Lord, and pitched his tent there. And there Isaac's servants digged a well. So what happened here? What happened is Isaac continued to work. Isaac continued to dig the same wells that Abraham dug in his past. And every time he dug one that Abraham dug, people would come and try to take it from him. the moment he moves on and gets to a place that is of his own, no one can test him. And he ends up being able to establish himself there. And the moment he establishes himself there, the Lord appears to him, and he builds an altar for the Lord there. Verse 26. Then Abimelech went unto him from Gerar, and Ahuzath, one of his friends, and Phicol, the chief captain of his army. And Isaac said unto them, Wherefore come ye to me, seeing ye hate me, and have sent me away from you? And they said, We saw certainly that the Lord was with thee. And we said, Let there be now an oath betwixt us, even betwixt us and thee. Let us make a covenant with thee, and thou wilt do us no hurt. And we have not touched thee, as we have done unto thee nothing but good, and have sent thee away in peace, and thou art the blessed of the Lord. And he made them a feast, and they did eat and drink. And they rose up betimes in the morning, and sware to one another. And Isaac sent them away, and departed from him in peace. And it came to pass the same day that Isaac's servants came, and told him concerning the well which they had digged. And he said unto them, We have found water. And he called it Sheba. Therefore the name of the city is Beersheba unto this day. And Esau was 40 years old, and he took to wife Judith, the daughter of Biri the Hittite. Hittite? I don't know. Hittite. Y'all tell me. And Bersemath, the daughter of Elon the Hittite, and were a grief of mind unto Isaac and Rebekah. Now, I believe that it's saying it was a grief of mind to Isaac and Rebekah because if you remember earlier on in Genesis, I don't know if you guys have read this or not, but Esau actually tried to take his brother's blessing from him by basically tricking him to give him some water into giving it away. But when God blesses you, he blesses you. It's not something you can give away. You can't give your blessing away to somebody else. So I'm sure we'll get into that in the later chapters. If you guys like this type of content, please like, comment, and subscribe. That way I will know. That way the YouTube algorithm pushes this out more and it gets more views and likes and everybody else, and we can spread the word to as many people as we possibly can. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you on the next one. Peace.